if you segment it, maybe a little bit longer. But that's just like when you're in a conference like this. Do you want to sit in your chair for 30 minutes? Do you want to sit there for 45 minutes? Do you want to do an hour? Do you want to do 75? The conferences, at least in the States, vary anywhere from 45 minutes to 75 minutes.
It does depend, you're right, but shouldn't we modify our content a little bit to make sure that it doesn't get too long seatings when it's virtual? That's a good question, right?
Yeah, what's your experience, friends?
Yeah, I think 10 minutes is good.
10 minutes is good, so he's a leader,
10,
right?
10.
Typical leader answer is like, yeah, 10 minutes or less.
That's barely enough time for who's Magnus slide.
Oh, wow.
He has an answer. He wants to participate.
Go for it.
Yeah, really depends upon the content. I mean, really this morning I heard a podcast of 1.5 hours because it was really interesting about what they were doing. But if it's not interesting, then what you said, 13 minutes, maybe too much. So maybe I don't belong to that Gen Z. I'm more than happy to sit for 1.5 hours conversation if it's really good.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it depends on the content and it also depends on the audience you're catering to. I mean, if you're catering to working professionals, right? I have learned from my experience, you remember like 1 hour is too long for that, which is so bad.
Yeah.
Someone who's working in a 9 to 5 job, or it's not 9 to 5 actually, it's usually more than that. So no one has that much of time to spend half an hour, even 1 hour to see a podcast. I think my issue said 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much good.
And that is a very good point, because if you go away and travel to a conference physically, you are there. And for the learnings, probably a lot for the networking in the so-called hallway track, networking with people outside the conference rooms and talking to the speakers and so forth. But when you are sitting at home, you will be distracted. Things will happen. Somebody rings you up or knocks on the door or your child comes in and needs something or whatever it is, you will not be able to have the same focus and time spent when you're sitting at home watching or attending or trying to learn a virtual event. That has a negative impact on your ability to focus.
Yeah, just one point on this. Hello. Yeah, I'm here.
Yes.
So, sorry.
I heard like the sound was louder in that area. She's speaking from above.
So yeah, of late I'm watching some podcasts on system designs and things like that. So I would say that what is the other things to keep in mind, that if the content and the presenter that we present is interesting enough, it is like keeping the attention like intact. Time people forget about time, how much time it takes. So I've been to some podcast that was like I felt like it is not worth watching after 5 minutes. They are like either the content is very not so depthful, or the presenter is not able to explain the things in a right way. So I felt like let's come out after 5 minutes. At the same time, I been to podcasts like it went for hours and more than that, like 12, because maybe how they build the curiosity of the listeners, how they put the content, right, sequencing of that, and how they, maybe some people use verification as well in the middle, right, at certain duration. So, all those things, I think, is a combination of the factors that makes any podcast good or not so good. Thank you.
Good points, I like that.
Yeah, speaking of which, that's why you use different content. If you're making this online event or session, it should be different than the one that you present live. So, yeah, you have to refactor your presentation so it can be enjoyable online. And to your point, yes, you have to have the presentation skills, and you have to have this rhythm and this passion, right? When speaking and explaining things. Otherwise, it's going to be so boring.
You saw it, right? You saw it. He's playing a little bit with the things that
A little
it's
bit.
like, so when you have this passion that you
Right.
right? And it's so
And that's what I
important.
was talking about. Yes, yes, that was
These are
important.
these are presentation skills, right? That you definitely need to have. I wouldn't say more just because it's virtual, but it's absolutely incredibly important because otherwise, if you are talking with a very monotonous voice and you are sitting
Yeah.
nobody's going to listen to what you are saying. That's not going to happen. Right? You might as well not do it.
That's exactly what I was talking about, yes. Yeah.
There you go. And those are speakers. Speaking of speaker skills, here's a man with speaker skills.
So, I really like the fact.
I don't know that I hear you in the mic. Oh no. Oh.
I really,
I'm scared now. I'm so scared.
I used my hand up. Figure this out.
I like the fact that you said refactor, right? And, you know, we have this mindset of an event, meaning
Stop playing.
That microphone. Yeah, stop playing with the mic. What are you doing with the sound, guys? Seriously. No, but
we think of events as a collection of presenters and their sessions. We have to submit our sessions to conference. But if you think about it, doing the online stuff actually kind of democratized things. You don't necessarily need an event as much as you need a personal channel or path or place to actually publish your stuff. Right? So getting into the 10-minute videos versus the 75-minute sessions that we're used to presenting. And you know, as I prepare for those things, I always have sections of those things.
Yep.
So now you can essentially chop it up into 6 or 7 videos and have a nice sequence of binge watching.
absolutely. No, that's a really good suggestion that you really think about your material. You cut it up into sections, chapters, and you could even. If you want to overwork your stuff, right? Either you record separate things and make small deliveries, or you can have the video edited for chapters with little notes saying, here's he talking about this, here's the demo, and people can technically go, oh, I watched the thing, oh, I gotta go back and watch the demo. So they can just click straight into the demo.
You can take advantage of like YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And one of the tricks I've learned in the SEO world
Yeah. Sure. Publish it as